morning. Today we're going to continue with solving equations, and we're going to focus on 2.2, which is solving two-step equations. Just a refresher from the last lesson, we talked about inverse operations or opposites. Remember, addition and subtraction cancel each other out, and multiplication and division also cancel each other out. We're going to continue to use those throughout this unit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and solve this equation. We have x divided by 8 minus 10 equals negative 9. And what I'm going to actually do is where students struggle is they have a hard time deciding what to do first here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight my x, and I'm going to talk my way through this. First, we divide by 8, and then we subtract 10. So if I was going to read that, I'd say x divided by 8 minus 10. That would be my order operations. When we're solving an equation, we work our way backwards. So if we would say x divided by 8 and then minus 10, we're going to start at the end here, and we're going to cancel that 10 first. So we're going to do plus 10 on both sides. Remember, that's a scale. We need to keep it balanced. So negative 9 plus 10 is 8. Now, we took care of that minus 10, so now the opposite of dividing by 8, remember this is not a fraction, it's a division problem. We're going to multiply 8 by 8 on both sides. So 1 times 8 is 8. Now, if you wanted to, you could check this by taking this answer and plugging back in. So I could do 8 divided by 8 minus 10 equals negative 9. That's my check step. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1 minus 10 is, in fact, negative 9. And I like to put a smiley face there if it works, not a frowning face. Okay, fix that if it'll let me. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to example 2. Okay, so same idea here. We're going to go ahead and draw our line. We're going to find our variable. And if I read this as far as order of operations go, I'm technically going to multiply. So we're going to do times negative 6 first, and then plus 3. Okay, that's an n, not an x this time, so make that an n. So I'm going to work my way backwards. I'm going to start by canceling this 3 because it's the furthest away. So we're going to do minus 3 on both sides. Negative 81 minus 3 is negative 84. And then I'm going to divide by negative 6 because right now I'm multiplying. Those cancel. Watch your signs. And then a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 84 divided by 6 is 14. So my answer is n equals 14. If you wanted to check this, you could plug it back in. Negative 81 equals 3 minus 6 times 14. And you should, in fact, get negative 81 equals negative 81, which makes me happy. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. This one looks a little different, even though it actually has a fraction. Notice where my x is. So if I were to do order of operations here, it would tell me to do x minus 10 first, and then divide by 8. So if I'm going to go ahead and solve for x, I need to work my way backwards. So the opposite of dividing by 8 is to multiply by 8 on both sides. So my 8's cancel. Okay, notice I didn't distribute there because they canceled out, so I'm left with x minus 10 equals 8. And so I took care of that. Now, instead of subtracting 10, we're going to do the inverse, or the opposite, and we're going to add 10 to both sides. So 8 plus 10 is 18. So if we were to check this, we would get 8 divided by 8, which equals 1. Okay, one more. Okay, this one's a little different. You actually have a couple options. I will show you how to do this with a two-step equation, and then I will show you how to do it a different way, where it actually takes 3 steps. Okay, so I'm actually going to split this in half, and I'm going to write this twice. So I have 10 times the quantity v plus 4 equals 180. We'll rewrite it again over here. Okay, so on the first one, I want to keep this a two-step equation. So I could look at this as a multiplication problem. And to undo multiplication, I can actually divide by 10 on both sides. So I'm left with v plus 4 equals 18. Now I have a simple one-step equation, so I could subtract 4 from both sides to get 14. The other option is to distribute. So if I distribute, you get 10v plus 40. Be careful of your signs if you're going to do this. We don't have any negatives there to worry about. And then go ahead and subtract 40 from both sides. So I have 10v equals 140, and we're going to divide by 10 on both sides. Okay, both cases I got 14. I'm probably in pretty good shape. Honestly, don't care which method you choose. Pick a method and go with it. I want you to try the next 5 problems on this packet and then have them checked. And then once you are good, you can go ahead and do the practice problems on the next page, as well as the 2.1 and 2.1 and the 2.2 quiz or practice quiz on Canvas. If you have any questions, hit pause, raise your hand, and we will help you out. Have a great day.